player. He's known as the Italian Stallion. It is a moment of silence. Reynor.
And his opponent in the bottom right of Cosmic Sapphire, the red Protoss player playing for Psystorm Gaming. This is MaxPax.
Reynor not in his famous attic room this time around. Somewhere else.
Is he playing at Robbie's? I mean, I
could be.
know that he often plays at Rotterdam's house.
Does
so,
he now?
Yeah. I don't know if he is currently in that location for this event or not. I'm not sure.
We'll see, we'll see. Alright, quite a opportunistic drone here on the other side of the map. It's just gonna be for scouting, I imagine. So there's not really anything else on the other side of the map indicating any type of aggression coming in. As Reynor, there we go. Oh no, it does go for that hatch block. But again, no spawning pool here whatsoever, so it's gonna be a tough time really being aggressive with this.
Well, I feel as if this is just a great opportunity for Reynor to capitalize on MaxPax making mistakes, getting him to overextend, overreact, and like, look at this. Like, there isn't a single probe that's coming off the line to go deal with this. With that probe on the opposite side of the map doing scouting, he knows the timing of that spawning pool, so this no longer becomes a major crisis point. Of course he's going to deal with it, right? Like, it's not going to be something that he just allows to complete, but not going to sacrifice his economy to make it happen. He's going to utilize the Zealot off of the first production. That's going to be more than enough to deal with, and MaxPax has time to create his own response in the form of a proxy pylon pretty close to that natural.
Yeah, and he's going to immediately put those gateways to use. He's going to get aggressive with a couple of adapts here. May as well try to make the best out of the situation you're placed in. Something interesting about Reynor is, of course, that he himself also plays quite a fair bit of Protoss. It's kind of, like, you know, interesting that he's playing ZVP as well. If in ZVZ, he likes to switch off to Protoss, of course. And it might be a matchup that he's more familiar now, you know, than maybe perhaps some of the other Zergs, because he's experienced both sides of this coin, both sides of the battlefield.
Oh my gosh, this is delightfully aggressive here out of MaxPax. We're gonna have to keep an eye on that opening of his natural, because this is going to be a very important choke point for MaxPax to try and hold. He is going to be able to get those additional structures built in, and that's going to help with making this push stick, but this is not a great army composition quite yet. Losing access to that adept, though, for only one worker is not a great position, but look how delayed this Zergling speed timing is. This is not going to be an easy defense here, but every second that Reynor can hold is another second he becomes so much stronger.
Yeah, and he is sending a couple of Zerglings across as well. 20 more Zerglings about to be ready. That shield battery is quite low now. As soon as those robo units are gonna start hitting the fields, those spine crawlers may not have that much to say about the matter anymore. Inching further forwards. And the more gateway units he picks off, the better it is going to be for Reynor here, of course, as well.
I mean, he's buying time for that Immortal to get out here, but now Link Speed's going to be able to finish up. Look at all these Zerglings here for Reynor. He should be able to overwhelm this in large droves. The spine crawler slowly inching its way forward. The Immortal is going to have enough time to pop out here, but is there going to be enough to support this Immortal at this point? I am worried that that's not going to be the case here. It is going to start working away here. Plenty of sentries here with force field energy, but enough of those links do slip on through, so that's going to be a little bit of damage fodder for the Zerg player to try and work with. And MaxPax is running out of steam here. He's being forced back further and further. Enough transfuses on these queens will help secure this position, and as the Immortal falls, so does this push.
Yeah, that is going to be a very secure Reynor here. And, well, MaxPax, most of his tech, of course, with that robo falling to the ground. He is going to put up a Nexus behind this. He's still on 23 workers versus the 20 of Reynor, but Reynor may have an easier time kind of exploding outwards right now. being able to set up that third base quite easily as well if he wants to, of course. And MaxPax, he is now stuck on these 2 bases. Luckily for him, there's no banelings involved in this matter, so the wall should be able to hold here quite nicely. Reynor, well, he's going to try anyway, trying to poke away at these gateways. If he does get through, of course, that could just be the end of the game immediately, but hopefully MaxPax here can scrounge up enough resources and force fields to keep plugging the holes. Okay, this is a bit terrifying right now.
Yeah, I mean, once that force field goes down, this is going to be a great opportunity for Reynor to try and push in. I'm actually surprised he didn't just, like, dash on in before the shield battery was finished, but this is a growing situation here for Reynor. I mean, you can see that he's taking his third base. He is going to be able to expand outward as well, while MaxPax has to continue expanding backwards. He's got to completely rebuild his starting tech here. I mean, he doesn't even have a gateway other than the one that he's working with, so has to start back at the beginning. It's 54 Zerglings killed, but look at all of the stuff lost here for MaxPax. Yep. It's a great trade.
Yeah, Reynor, he's just sitting so comfortably. Well, he doesn't have to do much with those Zerglings, right? It doesn't matter as much, as long as he doesn't let MaxPax just full-on expand right now. Yeah, he seems in a dominating position for game number 1. And it is kind of hard to see him lose from this position, isn't it? Trying to figure it out. Oh, now especially with that Oracle going down, one of the nice ways for MaxPax to potentially get some favorable wins in his back once again.
That's an unfortunate loss for MaxPax. I gotta give him props. He is hanging on. He's not just gonna give up. It is possible for him to recover, but Reynor has so many errors that he has to commit if he is going to allow that to take place. This is definitely Reynor's game to lose at this point. Picking off that third base timing for the expansion, that's another great stepping stone in this path to victory. But I believe that even if this game does stabilize, it puts Reynor at a so much larger advantage over his opponent.
MaxPax adding in another Stargate here and a fleet beacon off of the 2 base. Looks like his third Nexus is gonna be available for him. Reynor just adding in a Roach Warren right now. We're not seeing much of Zergling production, so it looks like he might be okay with just, well, eventually letting this be. Not quite yet.
No. I don't think that that's ever going to be a allowable choice here for Reynor. Reynor's gonna make sure that that stays as harassed as humanly possible. But I do love the fleet beacon choice. It's just gonna be for Tempest though. I don't hate this opportunity, but it's going to lead to some interesting choice making on the side of Reynor as well, who is going to drop down a Spire. I mean, now if it is going to be scouted out that it's going to be Tempest instead of Carriers, I mean, I don't see a reason why you don't go for Mutas. Give yourself the mobility that you want to have, go for Mutaling Bane, and just completely overwhelm your opponent for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, that does seem to be the track that we're heading towards. Those Tempests are going to have their work cut out for themselves to try and equal out this game again. It's going to be a long, tough, perilous journey, and, well, Reynor's going to be delivering it rather quickly in a bit of a speed run fashion almost. That is
what
the
year
Overlords.
is it?
That is the Overlords coming in with the drop. That's going to help out a ton against those Tempests as well. A couple of Adepts. Well, they find some drones, but not enough. Oh dear.
Oh no, losing that Tempest, are you kidding? Yeah. Oh yeah, that's GG. I mean, that's too many units to just throw away to Reynor when you're already so far behind. But very well played by the Italians there. Good start to the series.
Strong start, you know, that hatchery just kind of forcing MaxPax perhaps down a path, or feeling like he was forced down a path, and just committing fully to it. And, well, if there is going to be, it's going to get spotted by this probe right now. I don't think we'll see another one of those hatcheries blocking the Nexus for the time being. So that's going to be a little bit of a breath of fresh air for MaxPax here, I imagine.
Is it though?
hopefully.
Not sure if I would count on that being the purifying factor in this situation, but I don't think it's bad. Definitely don't. Getting run out to third base, pretty stock standard for Zerg players anymore, especially in this matchup. So as you could tell, like Reynor didn't even like flinch. He's just like, whatever, I'll take my third. It's not that big a deal. You've got the probe on the way. Sometimes you just got to lean into it and instead of like trying to fight it. So I think the bigger question is going to be with this bigger map, like you said, is there going to be a different path to success here? The choices that Reynor made in game number 1 really are able to be capitalized upon the fact that the map is so small. But this time around, I mean, there's no opportunity for him to drop down the proxy hash without any major sacrifice in his overall path. Because I don't think you can do 3 hatch before pool on this map and get away with it, especially not when you just got away with it the first time around. So in this particular situation, I mean, we could get into a longer form game, but honestly, like, I'd love to just see MaxPax sit back, dial up one of his classic like builds that just overwhelm players much greater than him in variety and style, and just give us some fun series. Because if he could turn this series on its head, I think that could make it really, really interesting for the remainder of the group.
Yeah, for sure. I would like to see it too, but well, Reynor here in the way for the time being, and he's a creative fella as well. I just like it, you know. MaxPax versus Reynor always has a nice ring to it for me, because they're both two still of the youngsters in my mind, right? Reynor, I believe a little bit older. But yeah, it's this new generation in a sense.
Kids these days.
Kids these days, right. They're so darn good at the video games. It's like they practice this a bunch.
What, you're telling me that if you practice something, you get better at it? What?
Apparently, yeah.
Tell that to my band students.
My goodness. I don't know what, how much time Reynor. I know some people like to give him a hard time about playing too much of the other games, right? Playing League and stuff like that, but yeah, we'll see. I'm pretty sure he's been recommitting down on the Starcraft, because his results have been pretty good again. Overall.
Dude, we got a resonating glaive build happening here.
Oh. Roachron isn't on time though for this. How many more drones would he have to? Well, he's already just building Zerglings here, actually. It seems like Reynor's just got a read on the situation, or at least, like, he's taking all the preemptive steps you're supposed to take if you realize there's, you know, this Adept Glaive coming to you.
I don't think it's like too out of pocket for this kind of response. That tends to be the normal response for a Protoss player. If you're able to secure blocking the natural initially, this is just a really strong position to try and play from. I mean, you can really work on the fact that your opponent doesn't have quite the creep spread that they need in between their bases. You can zip back and forth. But like you said, Reynor's kind of reading this on point. He has the tech at the time that he needs it. He's not going to get the scout off on the warp prism, which is a negative. But I think at the point where you know that it is coming, or you have a really strong suspicion that it's coming, you can start working on the different defensive points that you really need to focus on. And I think it will be mostly okay for him. It's just going to be a matter of the response on the backside of this. That's going to be what really counts.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes we all still can't see the adapts if they don't manage to really break through. Sometimes just retaining them can be a good way to have a strong follow-up with some other attack later down the line, but well, these adapts seem to be going quite committed, and the Zerglings, because they are on the other side of the map, they're not helping out the situation at all. It's just up to these roaches that are very slow at following up against those adapts. The adapts again here, right, run away, and eventually they're going to get out of range without the Zergling slowing them down. The Shade's going in another way, so 16 workers right there being killed off. MaxPax having a wonderful start here with the adapts so far. regardless of how well prepared Reynor seemed to be.
Yeah, this worked out really well for MaxPax. This was one of those builds I was hoping for, something to just turn the series on its head. And Dark Shrine back behind this means that MaxPax isn't quite done with this engagement. Now, something to note, MaxPax has not expanded behind this. So there is no third base. The amount of time is dwindling for him to capitalize on this continued aggression, but it comes into play when we start to see that transition. If it's even going to be on the cards. I mean, maybe MaxPax just wants to follow up with more DTs and just try to end the series out, but he is going to get in once again with more resonating glaives. It's possible that he could just find the remaining damage he needs to push Reynor out of this game, but it's going to be a challenge, at least for sure.
It really will be. Yeah, there's the Dark Templar already targeting down that Spore Crawler, realizing they're not quite going to get on top of that. And keeps all of them alive as well. Playing with the vision range for those roaches, just barely going out of there and being able to cancel some of those shots. It's pretty impressive. Reynor's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. He already was in a lot of trouble, but this is now, it's multiplying by magnitudes, it seems like. As two of his bases are now just, yeah, they are settled by the Dark Templar. The colonizing
no
Dark
lair,
Templar.
no detection, no mobile detection. That was rough, but hey, yep. MaxPax finds a way to get into the series. I mean, 1-1 now. All of a sudden, we got to sweat it out for the first series of the day. I'm loving where this is going.
It's a nice one, a nice thought. It's quick, breezy, but overall, MaxPax there being able to do what he kind of set out, right? As you wanted to see him get a bit aggressive as well, and well, if he's allowed to kind of have his natural pace at the time that he likes to, those builds are a lot easier for him to try and execute. So yeah, I really like the Zerg. It is from Italy. From Italy, Reynor. There we go. A lovely pug, a probe, and eagle wings in the background.
And in the top right, his opponent, the Red Protoss. It's MaxPax.
โอเคเกมที่3ฮะสำหรับเพื่อนๆที่เพิ่งหลงเข้ามาดูยังไงก็ฝากกดไลค์เอาไว้ด้วยนะครับสำหรับย้อนหลัง YouTube ฮะใครเจอกันครั้งแรกก็ฝาก Subscribe ช่องนี้เอาไว้ด้วยครับผมแล้วก็เหมือนเดิมฮะฟอร์กี้ไก่ทอดตลาดน้อยนะครับ Robinhood LINEMAN นะฮะสั่งเลยตอนนี้ขอลดเมนูยำไม่ได้เลิกทำนะฮะของงดไปก่อนเพราะว่าเขาเรียกว่าอะไรทำไม่ทันตอนนี้ก็เหลือ2ก็คือธรรมดากับซอสฟอร์กี้ครับฟอร์กี้มันจะเป็นน้ำปลาหอมๆหวานๆนะฮะมีกลิ่นได้กลิ่นน้ำปลาหอมๆคัดมาอย่างดีเป็นน้ำปลาคัดเกรดแน่นอนอ่านรีวิวได้นี่ขิงต้องเรื่องรีวิวนิดนึงโอเคเกม3ครับ MaxPax กับ Reynor นะเกม2 MaxPax จบไวมากจบไวในขณะที่แบบReynorหัวร้อนอาการออกเลยอะนั่นแหละเพราะเจอยูนิตที่มันซิมเพิลมากๆครับอย่างอาเดฟแล้วก็ปิดด้วย DT ครับ MaxPax คือ MaxPax อะใครดูเกมแรกเหมือนเด็กเล่นอะแบบเอ้ยโดนแงะออกโดนแงะออกเราไปกันบ้านหน่อยเดี๋ยวเราลองเอาเทมเพลตไปเล่นดิอะไรอย่างนี้Reynorบอกเสียเวลาชีวิตมากพอมาเกม2อะเจอเกมเร็วคืนอาการออกเลยครับReynorว่าร้อนจัดโอเคเรามาดูกันต่อในเกม3ครับกับแมปที่ชื่อว่า Data 4ครับ MaxPax อยู่ทางฝั่ง Red Protoss นะขวาบนของแผนที่ฮะจุดเกิดครับทางฝั่ง Reynor จุดเกิดอยู่ซ้ายล่างของแผนที่ครับเล่นบูเทอร์แรนเดี๋ยวบูเซิร์กมาบูเทอร์แรนติดปกติมันจะเรดเซิร์กบูเทอร์แรนอะไรอย่างงี้เป็นบูเซิร์กนะ
I like this. I mean, hey, if it isn't broken, why try to fix it? And if you've got an opportunity to run a Glaive Adept build a second time, why not?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it works out, right?
I just don't think that the long form game is the best case scenario for MaxPax. Notwithstanding that MaxPax is very well known as just a very deliberate trickster, and he capitalizes on that. Like that's an okay thing. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a million different ways to play the game StarCraft 2, and there's a million different ways to be successful.
แล้วก็อเดฟเข้ามาแซวก่อนครับอันนี้ก็ม็อบหลบดาเมจสุดท้ายเคลียร์อเดฟไปได้ตรงนี้เลือดหลอดมืดมาเลย
Such an immaculate end game that I think trying to drag the game out in a long
แล้วก็เล่นอเดฟเหมือนเดิมว่ะนี่ฮะอัพบอลแดงครับเพิ่มพลังความเร็วการโจมตีให้กับอเดฟครับบล็อกบ้านเหมือนเดิมมันเจอจุดอ่อนเรเนอร์แล้วเมื่อกี้เจอถ่ายเวอร์เกอร์เยอะไปหน่อยอาการออกเลยครับ
I mean, Reynor there, a big deal was, of course, those Zerglings going across the map. If they had been at his own base, I'm not sure if those adepts would have done as much, because he would have just had two fighting forces ready to catch those adepts, and it would have been a lot less chaotic there. But, yeah, unfortunately, or even if the Zerglings managed to break through, right, they really didn't manage, so they were just kind of there, and it was a lot of supply, it was a big investment. So perhaps if this goes differently now, we'll see a different choice there for Reynor, or maybe we'll see why he's sending those Zerglings across the map this time around, right?
Well, he did that last game as well, and he just wasn't able to make
มาแล้วอเดฟเหมือนเดิม
back at home and a decent enough
แล้วเข้าทางขวาว่ะดูการป้องกันอ่อนด้วยนะทางขวา
So he just had less army for the defense. So this time around, he's bringing the Lings back. I think that's maybe a smarter choice, but this doesn't feel quite as
ยังฮะยังไม่เข้าครับหลอก
is now complete.
รอผมว่าต้องรอวาปิดซึมแหละเอามาเติมของ
He's going to get into a robotics bay as well, so hopefully calculating that Reynor's going to overinvest on the defense here. He misses out on an opportunity to maybe
วาปิดซึมมาแล้ว
extra drones more than he would like, and instead showing up with disruptors. Not a terrible
สำคัญคือเทคต่อไปเขาจะเล่นอะไรฮะเห็นโรโบเบมาโรโบติกเบมาครับวาปิดซึมเอามาเติมของแล้วเดี๋ยวโรโบเบก็มาควีนมารอต้อนรับปลายพาร์ทควีนไปเลยไหมโอ้โหแล้วดูดาเมจเจอโรกอีกแล้วครับทางฝั่งเรเนอร์ก็เล่นโรกเหมือนเดิมภาพเหมือนเกมที่แล้วหรือเปล่าต้องมารอดูกันพยายามจะฮิวสวนขึ้นมาสู้จีหมด Energy หมดแล้วโอ้โห Disruptor ว่ะก็ว่าอยู่ว่าเอาโรโบเบเอามาเล่นอะไรเอามาเล่น Disruptor ครับแล้วรอบนี้เปิด Observe มาด้วยเปิด Observe มาแล้วทรานเฟอร์เข้ามา7ตัว8ตัวเรเนอร์โดนอีกแล้วโอ้นี่ฮะ two way ครับหลอกขวาตบซ้ายแล้วมาแล้ว2 Disruptor โอ้โหกลายเป็นกลุ่มนี้เป็นกลุ่มโพตอสแข็งมากๆเอาละฮะ Worker Reynor สะดุ้งสะเทือนไปรอบแรกแล้วกำลังจะไปดรอป Disruptor ต่อแล้วมาเจอ Circling ไล่ขยี้ Circling คอมนี้ก็คุ้มนะก็คุ้มอยู่เอาไงดีน่าจะไม่สนใจผมว่าไปกระทืบต่อมาแล้วครับอเดฟตรงนี้ Circling ก็รออันนี้เคลียร์ในส่วนของ Observe ออกไปนะ Observe ระเบิดไว้ฮะแล้วยังไงเดดบอลเต็มข้อเข้าไปอีกเอาแล้วเรเนอร์โอ้ยควีนยังไงเจอทรานเฟอร์เข้ามาอีก3โอ้โหอย่างเอามีหลุดไมโครตีแก๊สไปนิดนึงยังไงโอ้โหแล้วเดดบอลซัดมาอีกเม็ดครับโอ้โหเล่นได้เล้าใจมาก 2,500 ครับเรเนอร์จ่ายเยอะกว่าเยอะเลยหลักๆคือ15 Worker ตรงนี้จะส่งผลในระยะยาวหรือเปล่าต้องมารอดูกัน โอ้โหรอดด้วยว่ะวาปิซึมเลือดมืดเลยไปเติมชิลกันฮะนี่ฮะแวะมาเติมชิลโอเคแล้วสตอกเกอร์มาเปลี่ยนเป็นสตอกเกอร์แล้วนะเนี่ยหยุดเล่นอาเดฟแล้วเขาจะเล่นแบบทีละแบบ2ยูนิต2ยูนิต2ยูนิตอ่ะเป็นคอมโบง่ายๆครับเป็นดูโอคอมโบโอ้โหใจเย็นๆนะแพ็กโอ้อย่างเอาคือเล่นสนุกแหละแพ้ชนะผมว่าแม็กแพ็กเขาแบบชิวๆอ่ะแต่เล่นเอามันมากๆคือมันดูอุ้ย no 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 โอ้ยโดนไปอีก2 เม็ดแล้วสตอกเกอร์มีบิงแล้วด้วยครับเทคพร้อมใช้มากมายฮะเอามาไล่ถ่ายทูเมอร์ครับเฮ้ยเลเนอร์เริ่มเดือดแล้วเปิดกล้องอยู่คนเดียวด้วยนะแม็กแพ็กอารมณ์เหมือนยิ้มนั่งยิ้มอยู่มาแล้วเอาละครับสรุปที่เรเนอร์ได้เข้าชิงกับเครมเพราะว่าแม็กแพ็กไม่ได้แข่งรายการนั้นใช่ไหมนี่เฉยเดี๋ยวอย่าพึ่งยังไม่ชนะจังหวะนี้ยังไงกดดันไปที่แฮชชูรี่ครับกำลังจะสอดแทรกเดดบอลโซนพื้นที่มาเต็มข้อล่อเต็มแข้งไป1 เม็ดที่2ตามมาต่อติดโซนออกไปข้างหลังจะเข้าหรือบิงยัดมันซะเลยบิงยัดมาเสร็จรีเซ็ตไฟต่อแล้วดูตำแหน่ง disruptor โคตรดีเลยครับไม่มีแหลมฮะโอ้โหเพราะว่าไม่ใช่25 hour คนละแหลมกันครับผมแต่จังหวะนี้เสียแฮชชูรี่ไปแล้วครับเรเนอร์เหงาเริ่มง่วงต้องเล่นมุกหน่อยมาต่อกันโอ้โหดูใครจะเข้าไปหา disruptor ได้พยายามจะล้อแล้ว disruptor ไหลออกมาก่อนเลยนะแล้ว disruptor จังหวะนี้ต้องปล่อยไป1ครับปล่อยไป1โอเคแต่ต่อไหมโอ้โหเป็น10 นาทีที่เรเนอร์ซับพลายตามครับเพราะฉะนั้นเซิร์ฟที่ซับพลายตามตอน10 นาทีมันจะเกิดอะไรขึ้นนะมันจะกูไม่กลับเซ่แล้วเดดบอลยัดเข้าไปอีกยังไงครับเรเนอร์โอ้ยเจ็บปวดเหลือเกินจังหวะนี้ทำไมโลกมันเหลืออยู่แค่นี้ล่ะลูกทำไมโลกมันเหลืออยู่แค่นี้วอร์เกอร์ก็ต้องอออินเข้าไปเทนัสตักเข้าไปสิ่งที่เหลือที่ทำได้ก็คือ G โอ้ยไปแล้วครับคนแรกแม็กแพ็กครับไปรอชิงฮะในสายวินเนอร์ครับส่วนเรเนอร์ก็ตกสู่สายล่างไปชนะไป2-1เกมครับแม็กแพ็กอย่างเอาชอบตรงที่เขาเปิดเล่นคอมง่ายๆอเดฟมาเสร็จรอบที่แล้วเล่นอะไรนะอเดฟดาร์คเทมปารอบนี้มาเป็นอเดฟดิสรัปเตอร์แล้วก็สับจากอเดฟพอเจอโรกทำไงดีวะเจอโรกสต็อกเกอร์คือเขาแบบเขาซิมเพิลเขาเล่นเหมือนแบบถ้าตีเป็นเล่นเหมือน AI จะเป็น AI สายบุกAI เกมบุกฮะไม่ใช่มารอโดนโชว์ไทม์นี้เล่นรอโดนโอเคอย่าไปรอกันต่อคู่ต่อไปครับคู่ต่อไปก็เป็นฮีโร่กับโซรา